إخوان ارفعوا أصواتكم. يا إخوان ارفعوا أصواتكم، جزاكم الله خيرا. It's the greatest day of the whole year. And this day, the day of Arafah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exposes to us Laylatul Qadr. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hides it. We don't know when exactly is Laylatul Qadr. All we know is that Laylatul Qadr is in the old nights of the last 10 nights of Ramadan. But the day of Arafah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exposes it to us. In the day of Arafah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes down to the bottom sky, to the bottom heaven. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prays His servants in front of the angels. It's a very, very, very great day. So take advantage of this day. The first thing we should do is the fasting, because the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says about that, أحتسب على الله أن أكفر السنة التي قبله والتي بعده. Meaning that fasting that day erases the sins that's done in the previous year and erases the sins that will be committed in the next year. So this is a great chance for you to seek forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by fasting this day. And another thing we should do is al-dhikr. These 10 nights, 10 days are the days for al-dhikr, as the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, فَأَكْثِرُوا فِيهِنَّ مِنَ التَّهْلِيلِ وَالتَّحْمِيدِ وَالتَّكْبِيرِ. Increase in these days at-takbir, which is saying Allahu Akbar, and at-tahleel, saying La ilaha illallah, and at-tahmeed. But in this very great day, which is the day of Arafah, we have a dua, the best dua, or the best dhikr to be said, as the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, خَيْرُ مَا قُلْتُ أَنَا وَالنَّبِيُّونَ مِنْ قَبْلِي لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ وَحْدَهُ لَا شَرِيكَ لَهُ لَهُ الْمُلْكُ وَلَهُ الْحَمْدُ وَهُوَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. This dua is the best dua to be said tomorrow in the day of Arafah, the greatest and the best day of the whole year. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of this day. If you are working and you can take off, take off. It's worth it. Take off. If you own a business, do not work tomorrow. Close your business. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless you and give you more than what you're going to lose for closing for tomorrow. Especially if you have Muslims working for you. Give them a chance to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this very great day. And I would like to remind you, my dear brothers, to take advantage of dua in this day. It's the best day of the whole year. All wishes and all hopes you have in this life, tell it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tomorrow. All types of dua and all types of hopes and things you wish, tell it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everybody, any one of us, has a lot of things that wants it to happen in his life, or has a lot of things wants it to happen in the hereafter, which is having great position in the Jannah, in the heaven. So make dua for yourself, for your family, for your community, and for the whole ummah. Pray for your country. If your country is suffering from wars or attacks or whatever, this is the day that you pray for your country and pray for your people. Pray for everybody. Pray for everybody you know. And you have to understand that praying for someone is nothing but praying for yourself. It's nothing but praying for yourself. Because whenever you pray for someone, there's an angel saying, وَلَكَ بِمِثْلِهِ, meaning that may Allah give him the same. And whenever the angels pray for you, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will answer the prayers. Because لا يعصون الله ما أمرهم ويفعلون ما يؤمرون. Angels do not disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and always they do what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands them to do. So take advantage of the dua tomorrow. Any wish, any hope you have, tomorrow is the day to tell that to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in order that to be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And by tomorrow, inshallah, after Salatul Fajr, the restricted takbir starts. We have two types of takbir in the first 10 days of the Hajj. The general takbir from the day 1 we should be making takbir in general. Then we have al-takbir al-muqayyad, the restricted takbir that's after the salawat. That starts from tomorrow after Salat al-Fajr. After every single salat, all the way to the last day of Ayyam al-Tashriq. So we have 4 days. Yawm al-Eid, which is the day after, we have 5 days actually. We have the day of Arafah tomorrow, then the day of Eid, then 3 days of Ayyam al-Tashriq. 5 days to be saying at-takbir every after salat. And the takbir is Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, wa lillahi alhamd. So inshallah we're going to start making the takbir from tomorrow, right after Salatul Fajr, inshallah. Eid is this Thursday. The salat inshallah is at 8 o'clock in the morning. The salat is at 8 o'clock in the morning. Tomorrow inshallah we have iftar in the masjid. We have iftar in the masjid, everybody is invited. We're fasting tomorrow, inshallah we have iftar. And everybody is invited, brothers and sisters. If anyone wants to participate in the iftar, bringing food from home, from his home, that he's welcome, there's no problem. And whoever wants to donate for the iftar, for the cause of the iftar, you can donate, that's not a problem, the gates are open. So whatever you want to participate with, you are welcome. Whether you bring food or you donate for the cause of buying the food for the iftar. And tomorrow, inshallah, even if you forget, you may wake up forgetting that it's the day of Arafah. And you did not, maybe someone, but we should, every one of us should have the niyyah from now to fasting. But someone maybe is not here and he doesn't know that tomorrow is the day of Arafah. All of a sudden after Salat al-Fajr, he found out it's the day of Arafah. He can make the niyyah of Siyam from that moment and keep on with the Siyam to the end of the day. Because Siyam al-Nafil, the Siyam that's not obligatory, we don't have to make the niyyah from the night before. Siyam al-Fariḍah, the obligatory fasting, like the fasting of Ramadan, and making up the days we miss of Ramadan, this is an obligatory fasting, so we have to have niyyah from the previous night before fasting that day. But any fasting that's sunnah, that's not obligatory, such as the day of Arafah, we can make the niyyah right in that day. So if you forget for any reason, then after Salatul Fajr, you remember that it's the day of Arafah and you want to fast, you can fast it, because the Prophet Muhammad used to come to his wives and ask for food, and they say there's no food, and he says, I'm fasting. So from that, the scholars understood that any sunnah fasting we do not have to make the niyyah from the previous night. From the same day we can make the niyyah, provided that from Salatul Fajr all the way to that moment we making the niyyah, we have not eaten or drunk anything. If you have eaten or drunk anything, so you cannot make the niyyah for the fasting because you have already ate and drunk. Inshallah, Yawm al-Jum'ah, Friday, we are not going to have class. So the next class, inshallah, the next class will be Sunday, inshallah. Next class, inshallah, Sunday, Friday. There is no class, inshallah. And something very important, my dear brothers, please, when you make the udhiyah, the best thing to do is to do the udhiyah by yourself, to slaughter by yourself. Because that's what the Prophet Muhammad did. For any reason you cannot make it, you are giving the money for someone to do it for you, please make sure that he does it after the salat, after Salatul Eid. Because he may do it early in the morning, like 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. That's not accepted. Because the Prophet Muhammad says, "Man ضحى قبل الصلاة فليعد أخرى مكانها." The person who did al-udhiyah before the salat, he has to replace it doing another one after the salat. So make sure to tell the person who's doing the al-udhiyah for you to do it after the salat, not before the salat. And make sure that you tell him to mention the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when he slaughters the animal. Because having a lot of animals to slaughter, sometimes they will forget not to mention the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So remind him when he slaughters your animal to mention the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in order for that slaughtering to be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so inshallah we're going now to Pmدرس كتاب التوحيد, the book of التوحيد for الامام محمد بن عبد الوهاب رحمه الله. عن ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما عن
in Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 198, about the people coming from Arafat and coming to Masjid al-Haram. In the beginning of Islam, the Quraysh used to go to Sayyidina Sultan Ubaydullah. They used not to leave the Haram. They used not to leave the area of the prison. They used just to go to Masjid al-Haram in Muzdalifah and stay there and don't go to Arafat.
You mean what they were doing when they make Hajj? They go to Muzdalifah and they don't go to Arafah?
Yeah, they don't go to Arafat. They say that's for like people that are traveling or people that came from overseas or come from other lands. They could go to Arafat, but we, since we are the designates of the land, we're gonna stay in.
I don't know the process, the exact process, how they were making the Hajj. I don't know, Allahu A'lam. But all what I know is that they make a condition for someone who comes and wants to make tawaf to roam around the Kaaba, that he cannot do it with his regular clothes. He has to buy clothes from them. This is the trick they use just to misguide people make money. This is all what I know. But what exactly they do they go to Arafah and Muzdalifah? I have no clue. But for Muslims, we have to go to Arafah, then we go to Muzdalifah, and then we go to Mina for 3 nights. Yeah, so what the process exactly for Quraysh, I don't know.
So in Islam, do we have to, my question is, in Islam, do we have to worry about our intention, or do we have to look at what we are doing? If what we are doing is not in Islam, do we have to worry about our intention? You
mean if you're doing something and and the thing you're doing is wrong?
It's not legislated in Islam, right?
Then النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم says, "رفع عن أمة الخطأ والنسيان واستكبروا عليه." Whatever you do, and you do it by mistake, you didn't know this is the right thing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not judge you for doing it. But before you go to Hajj, you have to seek the knowledge of the Hajj, the process of Hajj, how it does, how people do it. And usually all the agencies or the companies that take you to Hajj, they will provide a shaykh or an imam that's going to be guiding you through how to do the process and how to move from one area to another. That will happen usually, so people know, usually.
And on the slaughtering, you read in Surah Al-Hajj, point 52, verse 28, but we have right. So if you slaughtering and you want to send your money like to Africa or where you came from for them to slaughter you, how can you fulfill this?
Usually, or what ulama says is that basically you do your slaughtering where you live at. But if there is any necessity or there is any need that make you want to send out money to a country, that's permissible. For example, let's say I'm living here, but I don't know any needy family in here. But in my country, we have a lot of people that are needy. So I can send the money to someone of my family, a friend of mine, and he does the slaughtering for me, and then he gives the meat to the needy. That's permissible. عن ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال: عرضت علي الأمم فرأيت النبي ومعه الرهط والنبي ومعه الرجل والرجلان. Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, narrated that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in a dream, he saw Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed him the scene in the view of the hereafter, and he saw Prophet that some prophets they only have rah, meaning that they have a small group of people with them. A rah means the group of people that from 3 to 9. So some prophets know a lot of people believed in them. Only rah, meaning that a small group of people from 3 to 9. وَالنَّبِي وَمَعَهُ الرَّجُلُ وَالرَّجُلَانِ. And he saw other prophets, they only have 1 man or 2 men with them. The total amount of people that believe in them, just 1 person or just 2 people. وَالنَّبِي وَلَيْسَ مَعَهُ أَحَدٌ. And he saw prophets that they don't have anybody with them, meaning that no one believed in them. إِذْ رُفِعَ عَلِي سَوَادٌ عَظِيمٌ فَظَنَنْتُ أَنَّهُمْ أُمَّتِي. Then he saw a big crowd of people, big group of people, then he thought that's his nation, that's his ummah. فَقِيلَ لِي هَذَا مُوسَى وَقَوْمُهُ. Then he was told, this is not your nation, this is not your ummah.
This is the ummah of Musa alayhi salam. These are the people who believe in Musa alayhi salam. And this shows the big amount or huge number of people that believe in Isa alayhi salam. فنظرت فإذا سواد عظيم فقيل لي هذه أمتك. Then he looked around and he saw other group that's more than the group that believed in Musa. And he was told that this is your nation, this is your ummah. فقيل هذه أمتك ومعهم 70,000 يدخلون الجنة بغير حساب ولا عذاب. He was told that this is your ummah, this is your nation, and among them there are 70,000 people are going to go to paradise without any judgment and without any punishment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not judge them. They go to Jannah directly. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not punish them, because we have some of the ummah, they will go to hellfire to be punished according to the amount of sins they did in this life, then they will go to paradise. Because when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala judges everybody, the hasanat and the sayyi'at, the righteous deeds and the bad deeds, will be put in different scales. If you have more hasanat, more righteous deeds, meaning that you're going to paradise, and the person who has more sayyi'at, more sins, is going to hell. If he's Muslim, he believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he goes to hellfire and get punished according to the amount of sins he committed in his life, then he will go to paradise. But these 70,000 people will go to paradise without any judgments by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and without going to hellfire. And without going to hellfire. And the Al-Mu'allif, the author of this book, Kitab al-Tawheed, the subject he gives to this hadith, باب من حقق التوحيد دخل الجنة. The person who has proper belief, or believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala properly, will enter paradise. And this shows the importance of Tawheed. As I've been talking, Tawheed is very, very, very important. We don't mess with our Tawheed, our belief, the way we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the way we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not letting anyone else have a share from the worship we do for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So 70,000 people of the Ummah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will go to Jannah without any hisab, without any judgment, and without any punishment. بغير حساب ولا عذاب. ثم نهض رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فدخل منزله فخاض الناس في أولئك فقال بعضهم فلعلهم الذين صحبوا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. The Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم told them that, and he got up and went to his house. Then the Sahaba started talking about who are they. Some of them say these 70,000 people are those who were companions to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because they are the best people. They are the ones who first believed in the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وقال بعضهم فلعلهم الذين ولدوا في الإسلام فلم يشركوا بالله شيئا. And some of them say no, maybe they are those who were born as Muslims, because most of the Sahaba, they were mushrikeen, they were worshipping idols. They didn't believe in the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So some of them thought that the kids that were born in Islam without doing any shirk, they are those who will go to paradise without any judgment and without any punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وذكروا أشياء, and they say different opinions. فخرج عليهم رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فأخبروه. Then the Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم came out and they asked him. فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم هم الذين لا يسترقون ولا يكتوون ولا يتطيرون وعلى ربهم يتوكلون. لا يسترقون ولا يكتوون ولا يتطيرون وعلى ربهم يتوكلون. They have 4 attributes. لا يسترقون. They do not ask someone to do ruqya for them. They do ruqya for themselves. The ruqya is a type of seeking heal or cure by the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in some ad'iyah that say by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That's a ruqya. For example, if someone has jinns inside him, or if someone black magic is made for him, so a ruqya, heal and cure him. Or if someone is affected by the evil eye, al-ayn. The ruqya, the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَنُنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءٌ. We reveal in this Quran what's cure. وَرَحْمَةٌ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. It's mercy for the believers. So, those who do not ask a ruqya, they do not have someone to do ruqya for them. They do it for themselves. And this is very important. We have a lot of people for a little minor thing, they ask for the ruqya. And the reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give those who do not ask for ruqya this position of going to paradise without any judgment, without any punishment, because they rely upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the true tawakkul. Because those who always seek ruqya, sometimes that may lead them think that the person who does the ruqya is the actual one who cures them and gives them the healing, give them the shifa. So because that not to happen, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give paradise without any judgment, without any punishment for whoever does not ask for a ruqya. هم الذين لا يسترقون ولا يكترون. And they do not ask for kawi. Kawi is ironing. This type of treatment that they take a piece of steel, they put it in the fire, wherever it's warm, then they iron some part of the body. So those people, they do not ask for such type of treatment. ولا يكترون ولا يتطيرون ولا يتطيرون. They are not optimistic. They are not pessimistic. I'm sorry. They are not pessimistic. In Al-Tiyara, this is a subject that inshallah we're going to talk about it from different angles and covering the whole subject inshallah. Al-Tiyara is to be pessimistic, seeing something and thinking that whatever you do is going to be bad, is going to be evil. For example, in Jahiliyyah, Arabs, they used to, when they want to do something and they are not sure about it, they bring a bird, then they make it fly. If it goes to the right direction, then they conclude that this thing is good, so they go ahead and do it. If it flies to the left side, so they consider that's evil. And that makes them not to do whatever they were planning to do. So such things is showing their weak relying upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because none of these things will make things good for me or bad for me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that created everything. So I'm relying upon Him. For example, at-taqayyur, pessimistic, for example, if an accident happened for you in a day because it was cloudy, so you concluded that any day that's cloudy, I'm not going to work because I'm going to have an accident. So that's at-taqayyur. You should not do that. You should rely upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It could be a clear day, an accident happened to you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decrees it to happen to you. هم الذين لا يسترقون ولا يتطيرون ولا يسترقون ولا يكترون ولا يتطيرون وعلى ربهم يتوكلون. And they rely upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They rely upon the Lord. And this is what we miss in this life. People just think that anything happens based on the plan I do and based on the hard work I do. That's true. But you have to rely upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you rely upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the true tawakkul, the true relying, things will happen easily for you and things will happen for you without any hardship. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, وَأَنَّكُمْ تَتَوَكَّلُونَ عَلَى اللَّهِ حَقَّ تَوَكُّلِهِ لَرَزَقَكُمْ كَمَا يَرْزُقُ الطَّيْرَ تَغْدُو خِمَاصًا وَتَرُوحُ بِطَانًا. If you rely upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the true relying, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you sustenance, will give you rizq, will give you money. Just the way that He feeds birds. They leave in the morning with empty stomach and they come in the evening, they come home with full stomach. ولا يسترقون ولا يتطيرون وعلى ربهم يتوكلون. فقام عكاشة بن محصن فقال ادعوا الله ان يجعلني منهم فقال انت منهم. Then a man of the Sahaba named Ukasha ibn Muhsin, he asked the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for him to be included among those the 70,000 people who are going to paradise without any judgment, without any punishment. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنت منهم. The Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم told him, you are one of them. ثم قام رجل فقال ادعوا الله أن يجعلني منهم فقال سبقك بها عكاشة. Then another man stands and asks for the same thing. Ask the Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم to pray Allah for him to include him within those 70,000 people who go to paradise without any punishment. Then the Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم said سبقك بها عكاشة, meaning that Ukasha has got it before you. In the scholars, the ulama says the reason that the Prophet Muhammad did not pray for him because he was munafiq, he was hypocrite. And the Prophet Muhammad knows the hypocrites. And some scholars says no, the Prophet Muhammad closed that door because if he prays for him, another man will stand up and a lot of people will ask the same thing. So because of that, the Prophet Muhammad closed the door so no one else to ask that thing again. And I'm going back to Ar-Ruqya, that is Sarqut, and talk a little more about it. We have a lot of things, a lot of issues, inshallah, in just 5 minutes. A lot of issues that's going on with Ar-Ruqya. We have adab, we have things that we have to have in mind when the matter is connected to Ar-Ruqya. Ar-Ruqya, as the Prophet Muhammad says, that is Sarqut. They didn't ask for the Ruqya. But if someone offers me to make the ruqya for me, if I accept it, am I eliminated from those 70,000 people? No. Why? Because the Prophet Muhammad accepted the ruqya from Aisha when he was in in his sickness of his death. He was reading al-mu'awwidhat, qul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq, qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas, and was making ruqya for himself. But when he was so sick, he couldn't make it. So Aisha was saying that, and she was making nafil, meaning she was spitting on his hand. Then she wiped his face with the ruqya she makes for him. If the Prophet Muhammad accepted, the Prophet Muhammad did not say anything. So based on that, if someone is offering you the ruqya, you can accept it. But to go and accept and ask for the ruqya, that eliminates you from being one of the 70,000 people that go to paradise without judgment and without any punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's something we have to understand. Asking for the ruqya is permissible. Asking for the ruqya is permissible. That's not a problem. But it eliminates you from being one of the 70,000 people who's going to paradise without any judgment and without any punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then we have conditions, we have stipulation that has to be in the ruqya in order to be considered as ruqya shar'iyya. Because we have a lot of people doing ruqya, but it's not shar'iyya, it's not according to the book of Allah and according to the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So the ruqya to be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to be accepted, to be within the true tawheed, that ruqya has to be from the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and from prayers that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said them. I cannot make ruqya by reading shi'r, poetry. I cannot make ruqya by saying words that I created. You have to make the ruqya from the verses of the Quran, the ayat of the Quran, or some ad'iyah, the authentic ad'iyah that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said them. That benefit the person who you make the ruqya for. And that accepted Islamically. It is not considered something that's gonna affect your tawheed, affect your belief in your aqidah. Then when the ruqya is given to us, or we're given the ruqya, we have to believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that's healing us, not the person who's doing the ruqya for us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that healing us, not the person who's doing the ruqya, because when we have any community or any people that they have ignorance, especially in the villages or in the country that there's no knowledge, they think that this person is having miracles and he can heal people. The cure and the heal is coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not from the person who's performing and doing the ruqya. And al-ruqya, a lot of people, they understand about al-ruqya is that al-ruqya is just for al-mas, meaning the jinns to go inside the human, or al-sihr, the black magic, or al-ayn, the evil eye. Because if someone sees something and he does not, and he prays that thing, he does not say, MashaAllah. For example, you see, you make a lot of money, but he does not say, MashaAllah. If his eye is evil, that's going to affect your wealth. And you start losing money. The Prophet Muhammad said, Al-ayn al-haq, the evil eye is true. فقال موسى هلا بردت عليه. Why did you say MashaAllah? Mention the name of Allah. Whenever you pray something, mention the name of Allah. You say to your daughter, you're beautiful, or to your wife, say MashaAllah. If your child is smart, so my son is smart, say mashallah. Because if you have evil eye, that's going to affect him in his not being good in school, not being smart. So a lot of people think, or the understanding about ruqya is that ruqya, we do it only for someone who has jinns inside him, or black magic is done for him, or there is an evil eye that affected him. That's true, but ruqya, we can use it even for the physical diseases, for the physical pain. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Uthman ibn al-Aas, in hadith quoted in Sahih Muslim, اشتكى وجعا فقال له النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ضع يدك على ما تألم من جسدك. Put your hand on the place that hurt you. وقل بسم الله ثلاثا. And say بسم الله 3 times. وقل 7 مرات أعوذ بقدرة الله وبعزته من شر ما أجد وأحاذر. Then say I seek refuge in the glory, in the ability of Allah from what I'm feeling. That's going to heal your kidney. That's going to heal you. If you have pain in your body, you can do ruqya for yourself. You can read some verses of the Holy Quran, Al-Fatiha or Ayatul Kursi, and spit in a water. But it's not the normal spitting. Enough means just some air with very little amount of the saliva. Not have a load of saliva. That's not enough. That's definitely the Arabic. But spitting in the dua is just to let a little air come out of your mouth with some amount of saliva. So you can do that, read some verses, then spit in the water, and you can wipe the place that is hurting you. That's inshallah heals you, because the Quran is shifa, in mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then something very important, we have to keep up with the adhkar, my dear brothers, al-adhkar, the prayers that protect us. When we go into our houses, when we come out, when we go to the bathroom, especially the bathroom. Bismillah, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-khubuthi wal-khaba'ith. Oh Allah, I seek refuge in you from the devils. When you come out, you say ghufranak. When you go to your house, you say the dua. Bismillah walajna wa bismillah kharajna wa ala rabbina tawakkalna. In the name of Allah, we love to know. In the name of Allah, we are coming in. And we are relying upon our Lord. That will make shayateen not come in with you to your house. That protects you. So it's very important, because you have a lot of people suffering from jinns going inside them, because they are far away from the dhikr and from the protection that adhkar and Al-Quran gives. We have some people, unfortunately, they are Muslim, when they go to the bathroom, they take in a shower, they play music. That's not supposed to be done. And we have a lot of people, their houses always having music in them. And that causes the shayateen to come to the house. And some people have things that make angels do not come to your house, like having a dog in your house. As Muslim, you cannot have that. So make sure that you don't have anything. And having the idols. I notice that in a lot of Muslim houses, when you go in, you find an idol, or what they call it, picture of animals and toys, toys. A lot of kids' toys that are in a shape of human being or animals. That will make the angels not come to your house. So eliminate all these things from your house. Make sure that the angels are coming to your house. And pray in your house. Pray in your house. Pray at the masjid at your house. Pray the sunnah. Even the sunnah al-rawatib. The sunnah, we pray them after the sunnah al-rawatib. After the obligatory prayers, the sunnah is to pray them at home. Number one, because that makes it 100% inshallah is for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because when you pray in the masjid, make shaitan make waswasa for you, and you like people looking at you, looking at your salah. Just you pray at home, no one's using except Allah. So that's ikhlas. And number two, because not making your house as great. If you're not praying at your house is like a brain. So you should be praying at your home. So in order for your home to be protected and angels to come into your house, and adhkar al-nawm is very important. Before you sleep, you make wudu, then you say adhkar al-nawm. One of adhkar al-nawm is reading Ayatul Kursi. When you read it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent an angel guarding you until you wake up. So it's very, very important to take care of al-adhkar. Adhkar al-sabah, we have adhkar, we say them in the morning. We have adhkar, we say them in the evening, when you go into the masjid, when you go out. And all these adhkar you can find in a book named Hisnul Muslim. All the dua from Sahih al-Bukhari Muslim. Hisn al-Muslim. The other is Sa'id ibn Ali al-Qahtan. That book is a great book. Has adhkar al-yawm wal-layla. All the adhkar for the whole day and the whole night. All the adhkar for different occasions and different things and different activities you do during your day. When you wear your clothes, it's dhikr you say. When you go into your house and you come out and go to the bathroom, a lot of adhkar you find in that book, Hisn al-Muslim. Hisn al-Muslim, the author is Sa'id ibn Ali ibn al-Qahtani. It's something very important. A lot of people rely upon or seek or ask for ruqya for any single thing happening in their life. If anything wrong happened to him, someone affected me with evil eye because I'm making good money and always my cousin is jealous of me. So because of that, an evil eye is affecting me. So I have to see someone to do ruqya for me. And especially the sisters, the women. Maybe 60 to 70% of them, they do not have any mas, they do not have any ayn, they just have waswasa. You know, I'm talking from personal experience. Some women, they do not have anything. Any little thing happened to them. I have this, she's 100% healthy. But shaitan is making waswasa to her that she has something wrong with her. If she has such feelings, she should make the ruqya for herself. In keeping up with the adhkar, Wallahi, the shayateen, the devils, the jinns, they cannot get you, they cannot do anything to you. إِنَّ كَيْدَ الشَّيْطَانِ كَانَ ضَعِيفًا. What shaitan is planning to do against you is so weak. If you're good with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, good with the adhkar, nothing is going to affect you. Nothing is going to affect you. إِنَّ كَيْدَ الشَّيْطَانِ كَانَ ضَعِيفًا. Okay, inshallah, taking too long. So inshallah, we'll keep talking about ruqya. Next class, inshallah, next week, Tuesday, bi'idhnillah, inshallah. This Friday we don't have a class. The next class is Sunday in Sahih al-Bukhari. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad.